Symptoms of parasites can sometimes be hard to detect and can mimic those of pretty much any health disorders. When parasites do cause symptoms, there can be many different kinds that may include things like constipation. It can actually be due to a large size of some worms that are actually blocking the intestines that can then stop your bowels from moving. And then also you have diarrhea as a common symptom. Certain parasites that release a hormone-like substance that is in human tissue that can actually lead to that watery stool. And then you have the gas and bloating, when you feel that bloat when you're eating or pretty much any time. Because some human parasites, they live in the small intestines, and the inflammation they produce can then cause that gas and bloating. And then you have symptoms like irritable bowel syndrome, where the parasites can then irritate and inflame and coat then the lining of the intestines, and causing a number of different symptoms of this disease. You also have the Crohn's and colitis, that can come along with that also. Then you have all the joint and muscle aches and pains, because parasites, they can actually migrate to different areas of the body. They're just not located in the intestines. They can actually migrate to the joints and to muscles and bones, and then become enclosed in that sac in the joint fluids. And worms can also do this in the muscles. And then anemia, it's another symptom when you're dealing then with parasites. Because some of these worms, they attach themselves then to the mucosal lining of the intestines, and then they feed on these vital nutrients that you should be getting. So they're eating up your iron, your magnesium, your zinc. They're feeding off all these nutrients that you need to function, because they take it first. And then you have allergies, a very common issue. Parasites and can actually then penetrate the intestinal lining, just as candida, allowing then large undigested food particles into the bloodstream, into the body, and then creating the immune system, that immune system response that can then, it's often assumed then to be an allergy. So if you're dealing with gluten sensitivity or dairy sensitivity or any kind of food sensitivity, it can actually be due to a parasite infection where you create that leaky gut scenario. Then you have skin conditions. You have these intestinal worms, and that can cause things like hives and rashes and weeping and eczema and a whole host of other conditions. And it can impact, these parasites can also impact your nervous system, creating waste and toxic substances that are very irritating to the central nervous system, creating restlessness or anxiety, and also then impacting then your sleep. So you have a hard time then to staying asleep at night. A lot of these parasites are very active, especially at nighttime and also during full moon. So your sleep can then be directly impacted by what they do. We'll be right back.